In the 1990s, way back in the day, Mrs. Doubtfire, remember it starred Robin Williams? He was a divorced dad. He then took on the role of a nanny for his kids and dressed as Mrs. Doubtfire and used that Scottish accent. Well, it's been turned into a musical, and it's an awesome one. It's actually here at Seattle's Fifth Avenue, and they're working out all of the details because it's headed to Broadway. I saw it a couple weeks ago. I loved it. I knew that I wanted to talk to the star of the show, Rob McClure, who plays Daniel and Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay, I know everybody knows, but just in 20 seconds, 10 seconds, plot of the actual show.
Family going through a rough divorce. The father loses custody of his kids. The mother is hiring a nanny to take care of them during the day, and he's an unemployed actor who pretends to be an elderly Scottish woman to spend time with his kids.
As you do.
And that goes well.
I mean, clearly, nobody is set on fire or anything like that. This part, I mean, when Robin Williams did this part, it was incredible, and so iconic.
Yes.
You do it in a totally different and yet very familiar way, which I think is brilliant.
Thanks.
How do you balance that?
Well, it was like I knew I would want a certain expectation out of a Mrs. Doubtfire musical, right? Like, we're all huge fans of the movie, and we all have that voice in our heads. We all have her voice. It's almost like Mrs. Doubtfire exists outside of that movie, right? She's like her own entity. So I knew I needed to fulfill a certain expectation. But Daniel, the guy, I feel like I could bring a lot of me to. But once Mrs. Doubtfire shows up, I feel like I need to establish for the audience that I'm gonna take care of the expectation, and then I can bring her in all new, surprising places. But first, you need to take care of that little compartment in your heart that's craving that voice.
And you do it so well. I mean, we get the drive-by fruiting, but Daniel, in my mind, really is someone who, at times, I didn't like you. Like, I was rooting against you a little bit.
We wanted to take the movie in a direction where you understood both sides of the divorce instead of just one. You know, if Miranda's the bad guy, if the mother of the divorce is the bad guy keeping this nice dad from his kids, then you're rooting against the mom. So we wanted to build a relationship where you can see why maybe it's better that this couple is apart. And what that movie did for the children of divorced parents. You know, it was the first movie. Up until then, there were all the parent trap, right? If the parents break up, the happy ending is the kids getting them back together. And Mrs. Doubtfire was the first movie to come along and say, actually, maybe they're better off apart, and you're better off for that as well as the children in that situation. And I can't tell you the teary faces at the stage door of kids from divorced families saying how much this story means to them.
Oh, that's beautiful to know that. And I want to point out, this is a musical, which is obviously different than the movie.
Of course,
Does it translate? I thought it did, but like, how do you feel being on stage singing?
I don't, you know, it's tough. It's tough to do, and our writers, luckily, are really, really brilliant in finding the moments of the story that sing, and that's the key, is how do you get into a musical place? And I think the emotional core of the story is what allows it to sing in such a beautiful way, that it isn't just a farce. I mean, it is one of the funniest farces of all time, but at the core, it's a real family struggle, and that's where you can musicalize it in a way that feels right to be musicalized. And the moments they've picked in the story to turn into song are really genius.
We definitely left it humming, my husband and I, after we saw it, so we really did enjoy it. And it is headed to Broadway, so what I love is, like, we love to work out musicals here in this city, and we think we're good audiences at it.
You're not kidding. The Seattle audiences are really, really smart, and they'll laugh when it's funny, and they won't when it's not. So we learn a lot from them, and
I love it.
We're grateful.
We have an Instagram ticket giveaway. If you go to our Instagram page, it's here through January 4th. You can maybe win some tickets. fifthavenue.org for more information. Rob, thanks for being here.
Pleasure, Travis.
Fantastic. And we'll see you later.